What's going, guys? Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Deep Exploration Code. I want to show you in this video how to build in Blender a tree from scratch step by step by proposing the change of the leaves color when we duplicate the tree. After opening Blender, we delete the cube by clicking on the Delete button. We go next to Edit and then we click on Preferences. After that, we click on Add-on. Then we write tree and we check sapling tree. Now we close the preferences window. Afterwards, we click on Shift plus A and then we go to curve and we click on sapling tree. A tree containing only branches appear. We now click on numpad 1 to have a front view. After that, we go to sapling add tree. Then in geometry, we go to shape and we choose one of the following shapes. You can choose another shape if you want. After that, you can change the branch radius setting here and the branch splitting setting here. Try to change some of these parameters so that you have an idea of the changes that appear on the tree. You can also change the branch growth parameters here. For our example, we change the value of taper crown to 0.2. Now we are going to add some leaves in the tree. To do it, just go to Leaves. Then we will check on Show Leaves. You can change the parameters of the leaf if you want. Now we click on Display Render Preview. Then we change the light by clicking on Object Data Properties, then by selecting Area, then by adjusting our lamps as follow. And afterwards, we adjust our camera. Let's now give a material to our tree. To do this, we select our tree and click on Material Properties and then on New. After that, go to Displacement, then click on Displacement and Bump. Next, click on Render Properties and then in Render Engine select Cycle and in Device select GPU. Now choose Shader Editor. Next, click on Add, then on Search, then type Voronoi and select Voronoi texture. Then select Chebyshev and Smooth F1. Next, let's give the value of scale equal to 6.3 and the value of smoothness equal to 0.35 and random equal to 0.3. Then we connect it as follow. Next, click once again on Add, then on Search, then type Mapping and select Mapping. Then we connect it as follow. Next, let's give the value of scale equal to 0.2 in Z-axis. Click once again on Add, then on Search, then type Noise and select Noise Texture. And we connect it as follow. And we change the value of scale to 8.5 and the detail value to 1.5. After that, we duplicate the noise texture by clicking on Shift plus D and we connect it as follow. Then we add texture coordinate and we connect it to the two noise textures as follow. Now we add Mix RGB and we connect it between mapping and noise texture. Then we choose linear light. and we give a value of FAC equal to 0.08. After that, we duplicate once again the noise texture by clicking on Shift plus D, and we connect it as follows, and we give a value of 9.5 to the scale, and for the roughness the value of 0.65. Now we add a color ramp and we connect it as follows. Then we duplicate the mix RGB by clicking on Shift plus D, and we connect it as follows. And we select Soft Light, and we give a value of FAC equal to 0.13. Next, click once again on Add, then on Search, then type Bump, and select Bump. Then we connect it as follows. We notice small deformation on the trunk of the tree. Now we will give a color to our tree by changing the colors of color ramp as follows. You can choose any color you want. By zooming in, we notice that it looks like a tree. by clicking on Shift plus A, and then I choose Mesh, then Cylinder. Then I change the number of vertices to 1 to 8. Next, I decrease the cylinder by clicking on S, then I move the mouse as follows. Afterwards, I click with the left mouse button to fix it. Then I move the cylinder by clicking on G, then I move the mouse as follows. And finally, I click with the left mouse button to fix it. Now I choose Material 0.001 to apply the material we made. If we zoom in well, we notice that the applied material is a bit different from the reality. So, to improve our material, I will do the following steps. First, I will give a value of 5.5 in bump distance. Then I will give a value of 7 for noise texture. And I will link texture coordinate object to linear light as follows. We notice that it looks like more the reality. Now that we have finished this part of the tree, we will focus on the leaves material. Before that, we are going to delete our cylinder by clicking on the delete button. After that, we adjust our camera. We select our camera. Then we click on numpad 1. And then, to do simple, we delete it by clicking on the delete button after selecting it. And then we click on Shift plus A and we select camera. Afterwards, we click on R, then on Z, then on 90 to make a rotation of 90 degrees. Next, we click on the button G and then on the button X, and then we move it to the right as follows. After that, we click on the left mouse button to fix it. By clicking this time on numpad 0, we notice that the tree is in the center of the camera. Now we are going to give colors to our leaves. To do this, we will first select our leaves and then we click on New. Next, we go to View and then to Frame All. After that, we go to Add and then to Search and we type Mixed and we choose Mixed RGB. And we connect it as follow. After that, we click on Mix RGB with the left mouse button and then we duplicate it by clicking on Shift plus D. And we connect it as follow. Next, we go once again to Add and then to Search and we type Color and we choose Color Ramp. And then we duplicate it by clicking on Shift plus D. And we connected them as follows. After that, we go once again to Add and then to Search and we type Noise and we choose Noise Texture. Afterwards, we go once again to Add and then to Search and we type Musgrave and we choose Musgrave Texture and we connect each of them as follows. We now give the value of 5.5 for scale of the noise texture. And we give the value of 1.5 for scale of the Musgrave texture and 3.5 for the detail. After that, we go once again to Add and then to Search and we type Mapping and we choose Mapping and we connect it as follows. After that, we go once again to Add, then to Search, and we type Texture Coordinate, and we choose Texture Coordinate. And we connect it as follows. Now we will change the leaves colors by choosing different colors. in the two color ramp. You can choose the color you want. Here is how we give colors for the leaves of the tree. However, we would like when we duplicate the tree that the color of the tree changes. Moreover, we want when the light touch the tree that it can pass a little bit. To do this, we will first add another color ramp. And we connect it as follows. Afterwards, we add object info. And we connect it as follows. We chose random because it will allow us to see when we duplicate it that the color of the leaves changes randomly for each duplication of the tree. By the way, to make the colors distinct, you must choose constant. Now we will change the color in the color ramp. You can choose the colors you want. Now we are going to add translucent BSDF. And we are going to connect it as follow after adding mix shader. After finishing this part, we will make the leaves of the tree a little less smooth. In order to make it less smooth, we go first to add and then to search, and we type bump and we choose bump and we connect it as follow. Then we duplicate noise texture by clicking on Shift plus D and we connect it as follow. After that, we go once again to add and then to search and we type mapping and we choose mapping and we connect it as follow. After that, we go once again to add and then to search and we type texture coordinate and we choose texture coordinate and we connect it as follow. we have finished to give colors to our tree leaves. Now to show you that the leaves color will change, you just have to select all the tree. Then click on Ctrl plus C and then on Ctrl plus V to copy and paste the tree. Or on Shift plus D to duplicate it directly. You will notice that the last tree has changed its color. Here is how we make a tree. The tree is now finished. If you enjoyed this video or learned anything, leave a like, subscribe and click on the bell icon to get new video updates. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you next time.